Hey everyone, I'm Renee, a designer here at the Quilted Cow. Today we're making the pocket pincushion. It's a nice, listen to this, heavy duty pincushion that has pockets that can hold rulers and clips or whatever. I would like to thank our sponsors before we get started. I've got Husqvarna Viking, Wilmington Prince, and Creative Grids. Let's get started. The Pocket Pincushion is part of our Helpful Heifer series, which can be found at thequiltedcow.com on our website. And it has the pleated pockets, side pockets, and you can put pins, put it with your sewing machine or on your cutting mat, and it will hold all your sewing needs. So we're going to get started with making or prepping our side pockets, our pleated pockets, and our regular pockets. So the first thing you want to do is take your pocket squares. You're going to fold those in half. You can either press it or finger press it, but I'm for now going to finger press it. Put your lightweight interfacing on the bottom half, and then you can press it so that way it holds your lightweight interfacing. We're going to do a top stitch across the top, and when you get done it's going to look just like this. And then we're going to repeat that step with the smaller pocket. You're going to fold your fabric in half, put your lightweight interfacing on the bottom half, press it, and then do your top stitch right across, and then you have your two pockets. This is going to be the regular pocket that you see here. This is going to be our pleated pocket on our sample that you see here. So to get your pleats, the instruction of the size that you need is on your Helpful Heifer pattern, and we're going to fold it in, increase it to the amount that's stated within the pattern. That's going to be the first fold. If you have the hot ruler, you could always put the hot ruler in here, roll it to where the size is, or if you need to just test it, go ahead and grab your Creative Grids ruler and measure and make sure that pleat's exactly where it needs to be, which it is. And then your second fold, you're going to roll back. So I'm just going to give that a pin and do the same on this side. And that's how you get your pleated pocket started. So I went ahead and I have some here, and we're going to go ahead and lay out. So all of your squares that you have, this is going to be my main exterior, and I put all my lightweight. It goes in the center so that it reduces bulk, and you have your seam allowance all around it. So this is going to be, when you're looking at your pattern, that's my square one. On the square one, you're going to lay this pleated pocket for now. And then you got your square 2, and it has the smaller pocket. And then you have a square 3, and then you have a square 4, and on 3 is another pleated pocket. And then this has another pocket, and then on 5 and 6, you don't have anything on it. It's going to be the side. It's actually going to be your top and your bottom. So this is how it should look now. We're going to go back and we're going to base stitch these pockets onto your squares so it does not shift around when you go to put these together. On your pleated pocket, I'm going to show you with this one. Go ahead and take those pins out that was holding it into place. And when you go to baste it, this 1/2 inch lip, that's what you're going to line up with this side. And then you're going to baste it right there. And then you're going to do the same with the other side. You're going to baste it right down in there. And then once you get those basted, you can lay your pleats down and then baste the bottom. And then when you do your sides for your little ones, you know, just do your sides, your bottom, however you prefer on that. And then to get your squares together, once you get your pleated pockets basted, you're going to sew this piece to this piece. And then you're going to sew both of those to this. And then this goes straight down the line. And this is how it's going to look. And then you sew on your side pieces. When you're sewing, stop and start 1/2 inch from each end. See how I have each end of them stop and starting? And then on my pleats, I have them just like that. I decided not to baste the bottom part of mine, but if you feel more comfortable doing it, you can. But for right now, so I do not catch my pleats in there, I'm going to fold these back and temporarily pin them. Now you want to start assembling your cube. This is going to make the cube. So take your bottom. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. So take your 4, bring it up to your 1, right sides together, and then you're going to stitch from top to bottom. Go ahead and give it a good back stitch at the beginning and at the end of it. So this is how it looks. We already have a cube starting to form. So I'm going to go ahead, take my pins out where I was holding my pleats out of the way, and then determine which one you want to be the top and which one you want to be the bottom, if you have a favorite at this point. And actually, you need to let the top be where your pockets are pointing up. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble the bottom. And you're going to do that by taking right next adjacent to it. So we're going to take this side. Make sure your pleats are now open, because this is going to be the final stitch on it. So I'm going to take my pleats, pull them back. I'm going to get a pin and just kind of hold that for a second. Just to hold it for me, and then I'll move it once I get this into place. Now I'm just taking that pin out once I get a hold to that pleat. I can take it out and then... So now I'm going to take that side and just sew right down it. So I just did that side, and now I'm going to peek in, make sure I like how the pleats look, because you want to be able to have a full opening of that pleated pocket, which that does look good. So now I'm just going to go to the very next side, do the same thing. All right, so I just did that side again. I'm going to peek at the top, make sure I caught everything the way that it should be. It's looking good. And now I'm going to sew this final bottom. And again, this is a pleated pocket, so I need to make sure that I get my pleats pulled out. That's the way you want it, right there. Nice and flat to where your pleats pulled out. I'm going to put a pin just to hold that pleat in place for me. And then I can sew right along there and finish this bottom part up. All right, so now I can reach down inside, make sure everything looks good. That bottom half is totally done. So now we're going to do the same thing, but with the top half. But one of the sides, which I recommend a non-pleated side, so it's going to have to be this front part here because you don't want to have to go back and try to close up these pleats. So on this front side, you want to leave an opening to where we have to turn this cube inside out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this side sewn down. All right, so I got that side done. Here's the front. Remember, this is the front somewhat. I'm going to leave it open for turning. So I'm going to get this opposite side sewn down. And now on this front half, I do want to sew a little bit of it. So I don't want to have to close this whole end. So I'm going to go ahead and put like, I don't know, maybe a 2-inch opening, but I want to reinforce these ends. So I'm going to sew from here to there, making sure I backstitch good on each end. All right, so now we can turn the cube. All right, so once you get it all turned, make sure you get all of your corners poked out. Look at your pleats. Make sure your pleats are looking good. And I already have one right here completely turned and pressed and everything how it needs to go. And this is how it's going to look. And then right here is my opening. I just kind of folded that under, pressed it, and pinned it. But before I will close, I would close this by hand. I would not recommend machine because you're going to be using the ground walnut shells, or you can use, a mixture, because this takes a lot. You can use a polyfill, but definitely go ahead and put some walnut shells in it too to give it a little bit more weight so it doesn't move around on you. So that you would take a funnel, you can put it right in there and fill it up. And that's what your pin pocket's going to look like. And again, here's a totally filled up finished one. Handy. You can put your pins in it. You can put your clips in it. You can put a writing pen, snips. It is just so handy. And reminder, you can find it on the Helpful Heifer series at thequiltedcow.com. Don't forget to give us a like, a thumbs up. You can also subscribe so you can find us easy for these tutorials. And thanks for watching.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.